Hello students, next we look into the topic of modulation. Let us look at why do we modulate or what is the need for modulation. The first the need for modulation is the requirement of the height of the antenna. So height of antenna is the first reason why we look for modulation. And what is the main reason for the height of the antenna? See, I have already told you that any wave having a frequency of f, we can find out its wavelength lambda by dividing the speed of light with frequency. And once we get the value of lambda, the height of the antenna, let me take it as h, the height of the antenna will be approximately of the order of lambda by 4 if we want to receive the waveform in the best possible manner. Then we have to go for an antenna height of lambda by 4. And if you look at the frequency range of voice basically goes from 300 hertz. It goes from 300 hertz to 3100 hertz. And with that, if you would try to calculate what is the value of lambda, and then if you would try to calculate what is the height of the antenna will come in kilometers or even meters. But we know that we cannot have an antenna of such a big height, so we need to change the frequency f, and that is possible through modulation. And this is the reason, one of the reason, the height of the antenna is one of the reason why we need modulation, because we want to reduce the height of the antenna. The second reason is avoid the mixing of different signals. That means if I am suppose talking, then my voice is in the frequency range of 300 to 3100 hertz or 3.1 kilohertz. This is my voice range. If one of my another friends is talking, his voice range is also of 300 to 3100 hertz. Now if both of us are trying to send our signal through a antenna, then both these signals at the receiving antenna, suppose there are two receiving antennas, one is the person whom I intend to send, and second is the person to whom my friend intends to talk. So let me name it as B. So both of these will receive the same signal. That means they are both tuned to suppose the same frequency. Then both of them will receive both the signals, and both the signals will get mixed. And that is only for two cases? No. Whosoever is going to talk is going to talk in this particular frequency range. So all the voices together you will start hearing in your mobile phone. So just imagine you are talking, you want to talk to your friend, but when you talk, you find out that all those people who want to talk at that same time are talking, and you can hear their voices in the mobile phone. So you don't want that to happen. So you want each of them to take a different channel. So if you want to put them in a different channel, if you want to put them, the second person, in a different channel, then you use modulation. So modulation will help our signal to go to a different bandwidth and my friend's signal to go to a different bandwidth. And thus the person who is receiving, let's say A, then suppose this is some bandwidth f1 and this is some bandwidth f2, then A will be tuned on to f1 and B will be tuned on to f2. So A will only hear f1 and B will be only hearing channel f2. This is something that happens in the case of a radio. You may have a radio Mangalam, you may have a radio Mango, you may have some other radio which is operating, and all their signals are there in the air. But your radio, you are trying to tune to a particular frequency so that you receive only that channel. So that is the second reason why we need modulation, because modulation helps us to take the signal and keep it in a different channel. So that is what is the second need for modulation. Next, we will look at what are the types of modulation. See, first we think the first thing we have to understand is in the case of modulation, there is something that is called as a carrier wave. Carrier means something what which carries. Okay, and then there is a message signal. Message signal is the information signal that we want to carry forward. So what we have is we are having a modulator. A modulator basically takes the carrier wave, takes the carrier wave, and it changes the carrier wave. It changes the carrier wave with respect to what? With respect to the message signal. Or I can say that the message signal is used to change the carrier wave, and that word change, to change, is basically what is called as modulate. So what we say is we take a message signal which is also called as a modulating signal. Why? Because this is the signal that modulates or which makes the change. So this is the modulating signal, and the carrier wave is modulated, and finally what you get outside is a modulated signal. Okay, so the modulating signal modulates the carrier or changes the carrier so that in the output you get the modulated signal. Now what are the examples of a carrier wave? What are the examples of a carrier wave? The carrier wave, I will, for your syllabus, I will just take two types of carrier wave. First is a sinusoidal wave, which I will call it, like I will write it as either sine omega ct, where C basically stands for carrier. This is basically short form for carrier, and omega c is 2 pi fc, 2 pi fc, where fc is basically the carrier frequency. So this is the carrier frequency. So you can have sine omega ct or even cos omega ct, it does not matter, both are same sinusoidal wave. And the second wave is a pulse waveform. So this is basically called as a pulse waveform. So in certain cases I use this as the sinusoidal wave as the carrier wave, and in some cases I use the pulse waveform. Now what is the characteristic? Why is it called as a carrier wave? See, what is one of the important thing about a carrier wave is that it has certain things that are constant. For example, the amplitude, if you look at the maximum amplitude of the sine wave, that maximum amplitude is constant. So one of the things that is constant in in a carrier wave is the maximum amplitude. So I will just write amplitude. So the maximum amplitude, here also you can see that the maximum amplitude is the same. The next thing that we can see that is very constant in this is the frequency. As you can see, the frequency omega c or fc, that frequency is the only frequency that is there. There is no other frequency in a carrier wave. So I can say that the frequency of this sinusoidal wave. Whereas in the pulse waveform, I can tell that it is the the duration, the pulse duration. So either frequency or the pulse duration. So these things are constant in this carrier wave. You can see that they are not changing. And the third thing is basically the phase. The phase of this particular waveform. The phase is something that I will not teach you this time, because it is presently it's out of your syllabus. So frequency and phase are somewhat similar, but anyway, we will study only amplitude and frequency. So amplitude and frequency are constant in a carrier wave. So when I say that a modulating signal will modulate or change the carrier wave, what actually happens is that the modulating signal will either change the amplitude or it will change the frequency. And that is how you have what is called as a amplitude modulated signal or a frequency modulated signal. So now I will basically write modulation, and I will basically say that there are two major kinds of modulation. There are two major kinds of modulation. The first is the continuous wave sine wave modulation that we are having here. So I will write this as continuous, I will write this as the continuous wave modulation, and the second one is for this waveform, which is the pulse waveform, and we will have the pulse wave modulation. And the continuous wave modulation itself will be further divided into three parts, and they are the amplitude modulation, in short AM modulation or AM. Next is the frequency modulation, or in short FM. And the last one is the phase modulation, also called in short as the phase modulation. So as you can see, I already told that a continuous wave will have an amplitude, a constant amplitude or constant maximum amplitude, a constant frequency and a constant phase. So either changing only the amplitude you have AM, only the frequency you have FM, and only the phase you have the PM. Next, in case of pulse wave modulation also, we will have different kinds of modulation, which can be divided just like we have done in the case of continuous wave modulation. This also we can divide it. For example, for the case of pulse wave modulation, we will have pulse amplitude modulation, or in short PAM. And then we have pulse time modulation, which has two subparts. There is a pulse time modulation which has two parts. The first one being pulse width modulation, or PWM, pulse width modulation, and the second one is pulse position modulation, or PPM. And the last one, which is totally in a different category, I can say, that is pulse coded modulation, in which we have basically a signal going from analog to digital. So I will keep that slightly different, but within the pulse wave modulation category, the pulse coded modulation, or PCM. So this is what broadly I can say. There are many other modulation methods, but as per your syllabus we will study only these. So in continuous wave modulation you have AM, FM and PM, whereas in pulse modulation you have PAM, which is pulse amplitude modulation, PWM and PPM, and a last category which is pulse coded modulation. With that first introduction, let us look into amplitude modulation. So in amplitude modulation, we have a carrier which is represented by this small EC, where C stands for carrier, which is basically a sinusoidal waveform cos omega ct with an amplitude of EC. If I draw this, I'll get a waveform like this, where the maximum amplitude is EC. Now you might say that, sir, this is the waveform of a sine wave. Well, it does not matter, because whether sine or cosine, it's one and the same. Equation wise slight difference might be there, but anyway, the maximum amplitude is EC. Next, we have the modulating signal or the message signal. and it can be written as Em cos omega mt, where the M basically stands for the message signal. Now, one of the things that we have to be very careful is that Fc is always greater than Fm. The carrier frequency is always greater than the message frequency, because basically what we are trying to do is we are trying to take this message signal and take it to a higher frequency. That is the reason why the carrier frequency is basically larger, and it's actually very, very large than Fm. Now, if I have to draw this, generally a message signal would have any shape with respect to time. For example, like this, it will go. But this particular signal will have many frequencies, not just one frequencies, many frequencies. Basically, if it's a speech signal, we have seen that it can go from 300 to 3100 hertz. So there are many frequencies. But for the mathematical analysis, we will consider that the message signal is having just one frequency. That is the reason why we have written it like this. So now let me draw this message signal. So as you can see, it's a wave which has lower frequency than the carrier frequency. Now what happens in amplitude modulation? In amplitude modulation, the first step that we do is we add a DC, a direct current component, to this EM wave. Let me draw that. Before that, let me name the maximum amplitude here as EM. That is the maximum amplitude. So let me now draw how I am changing this message signal by adding a DC. So this is the EM wave again drawn. Now I am going to take this and I am going to slowly pull it up. That means I am going to add a DC level to it. And how much am I adding the DC level? I am taking it from its original 0. As you can see, this axis is 0. I am taking it, that axis I am taking it up to EC. I can take it to any value, but suppose I am going to take it to EC. Now this is the wave that is going to modulate the carrier. So if I have added EC, then what I should do is I should write that I am getting the new equation as, it's not just this equation, but it is EC plus EM cos omega mt. That means what I have done is I have added a DC signal EC. That means I have added a constant voltage with this original message signal, and that has basically taken this one up. And now based on this, the maximum amplitude of the carrier is going to change. Now what is the maximum amplitude? As you can see here, it is EC. Now that EC is what we have written here. So now what I am going to do is I am going to change this maximum amplitude, and instead of having the maximum amplitude as this constant value of EC, I am going to change that maximum amplitude with respect to this new signal that I have got. So I will write that my EC, the new voltage E, will be equal to, instead of EC I will write this equation, that is this waveform. So it is going to be EC plus EM cos omega mt, and then I am going to multiply this with the with the signal, with the carrier signal. The carrier signal, that means the remaining part I am going to write as such. So now my carrier is modulated, that's why I am writing it not as EC, but I am going to write it as E, and EC I have changed. The remaining portion I will write as such. So that remaining portion, let me write it here as cos omega ct. So this is going to be my AM wave. So I should draw it. isn't it? So let me draw it. Now for drawing this, remember cos omega ct signal is already drawn here, but this had constant amplitude EC, that we are now changing to this equation, which is basically this one. So what happens is, instead of a constant amplitude, I will have, so let me draw this, I will have the same waveform of EM changing the maximum height of the waveform. So now the waveform will have a changing maximum amplitude. So as you can see, the maximum amplitude of the carrier wave cos omega ct is basically changing based on the amplitude of the message signal, and because of which you can see in the other side also that waveform is basically getting formed. So this is the EM wave. This is the modulated signal. This is the modulated signal. And let us write some of the values. For example, here the height was EM. Because of the additional EC DC signal getting added up with EM, now the height becomes EM plus EC. So you can see that the maximum value that this one can come, the maximum value that this signal can come is EC plus EM. That is the maximum it can come. And if you look at this envelope, there is a minimum that this can come. What is the minimum value? The minimum value that can come is basically EC. This is the total EC, out of which this is minus EM. So if you ask me what is this particular height will be EC minus EM, correct? So this is going to be, let me take a different color. So this is going to be the lowest point of the envelope is going to be EC minus EM. And you can see that it is basically this EC and EM that will decide the shape of this particular wave. See here, the condition that we have had is that EC is greater than EM. If EC is not greater than EM, suppose if it is EC is going to be equal to EM, in that case what will happen to this particular value? It will be 0. So in that case what you will have is, suppose if I am going to draw the axis like this, in that case the signal will have some maximum value EC plus EM, but the minimum value will come out to be 0, and then again you will have some maximum value. So you can see that the envelope will touch the 0 axis. It will touch the 0 axis if EC is equal to EM. And then what happens if you are having the condition that EC is less than EM? That means EM is greater than EC. In that case, look at what will happen to this one. Here it will go to a negative value. So if I am going to draw that, then I will first draw the envelope. The envelope will be basically going like this, and it will have some portion of it going below the 0. So the same, if I am going to draw the other side envelope, the other side envelope will basically also look something like this. And so now if I am going to draw the waveform, the modulated signal waveform based on this envelope, you can see that I will get a waveform like this, and here there is an abrupt change in phase. Again here there is an abrupt change in phase, and that's how the signal is going to look like. So we have a name for this. This is called as under modulation. This is called as critical modulation, and this is called as over modulation. So we have under, which looks something like this. The critical modulation where it is touching 0 here. So this is the critical one, and this is over modulation where this is what has happened. And this basically is not good because the shape of the signal is lost. You can see that the shape of the envelope is now going to look something like this, which is not the original signal. Whereas in this case, the shape of the original signal is still there. Even in this one, the shape of the original signal is going to be there. Now mathematically, let us study these. So we will start with this equation in a fresh page. Now ഇവിടുന്ന് വളരെ ഫാസ്റ്റായിട്ട് നമുക്കിതൊന്ന് സോൾവ് ചെയ്ത് ഇതിനെ ഒരു മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്ന രീതിയിലുള്ള ഒരു വേവ് ഫോം ആക്കി മാറ്റാം, ഒരു ഇക്വേഷൻ ആക്കി മാറ്റാം. So so from here if I am going to take EC common, so if I take EC common, then here it will be 1, and here since there is no EC, I will take EC out, means I will get EM divided by EC into cos omega mt, that into cos omega ct. Again remember, omega c is the carrier, omega m is the message. Now here this particular ratio EM by EC, this is called as the modulation index. Modulation index. And this is important because it's the modulation index that decides whether it's going to be under modulation, critical modulation, or over modulation. You can see here this equation can be written as EC less than EM. It can be written as EM divided by EC will be less than 1. Whereas, so this is the one. Whereas for this equation, it will become EM by EC is equal to 1. And for this one, it will become EM by EC is greater than 1. So if it is less than 1, it means that EM is smaller than EC. That is, the numerator is smaller than EC. If it is equal to 1, it means that both of them are same, and we will have this situation. And if EM is greater than EC, then we will have this ratio to be greater than 1, and that is going to give us this situation. So this one is EM by EC is called as the modulation index M. And the modulation index, it will have 3 conditions. So as it is written here, this first condition will be the modulation index M is less than 1, the modulation index M is equal to 1, and the modulation index of M is greater than 1. And this is under modulation, this is critical modulation, and this is over modulation. So when you look at M, you should understand that it is basically the modulation index which is given by EM by EC. Anyway, if we now further go, from here I will get, I can further solve this. So I will get E is equal to, let EC be as such, okay, and if I take this EC inside, if I take this EC again inside, I will get EC plus, now EM by EC, I have already said that this is equal to M, so I will write the modulation index M, and then the remaining equation, which is, if I take this EC inside, so it will become EC cos omega mt, that multiplied with cos omega ct. Okay, and now this, if I am going to open the bracket up, if I open the bracket up, I will get E is equal to EC cos omega ct plus M EC cos omega mt cos omega ct. Now here you all know the relationship that we have studied in trigonometry, which is cos A cos B is equal to half of cos A plus B minus cos of A minus B. And if I am going to substitute that here A is going to be omega mt, or let's say A is going to be omega ct. Let me, because I want A to be having a larger value, so I will take A as cos omega ct and B as omega mt. So A plus B will be equal to omega c plus omega m within bracket t, and A minus B will be equal to omega c minus omega m bracket t. Okay, so this is what is the equation, and based on this, if I am going to further solve this, that means if I am going to substitute this by this equation, this set of equations, then I will basically get the final equation as E is equal to EC cos omega ct, which is the same as this one, whereas this one will basically come as m EC by 2 cos omega c plus omega m by t plus m EC by 2 cos omega c minus omega m t. So this is the final equation of AM. This is the final equation of AM. And we need to understand what is happening here. See, you can see that we started with a carrier which was omega c frequency, or we will call it as SC frequency. So this was the carrier, and we had omega m frequency with which we are having a message signal, or what is called as the modulating signal. Okay, omega m can also be written as FM, because omega m is equal to 2 pi FM. Now what is the remaining we have got here? What we have got here is three components. This is the first component, this is the second component, and this is the third component of the AM wave. So this is the AM wave, this is the AM wave. Okay, this is the AM wave. So you can see that all these three signals have three different frequencies. Here the frequency is omega c, or 2 pi fc. Here it is omega c plus omega m, which I can write as 2 pi of fc plus fm. And here it is going to be omega c minus omega m, which I can write it as 2 pi of fc minus fm. So I have got three signals in the AM wave, one which is having the original carrier frequency, and the other two are a sum and a difference of the carrier and message. And since this frequency is higher than fc, this frequency is higher than fc, I will call this as the upper sideband. And since this frequency is less than fc, why? Because it is fc minus fm, so it is less than fc, so I will call this as lower sideband. Now why do we call it as sideband? See, you have to be very careful in understanding this. The original signal, look at this very carefully, this is suppose the frequency axis. Okay, the original signal was some frequency, omega m, or let's say I will write it as fc, some frequency fm, sorry, the message was some frequency fm, and I will also write its negative fm. Okay, now what has happened is when you modulated this thing with a carrier frequency, and carrier frequency I am drawing like this. Now I have drawn it bigger because the height of this is em and the height of this is ec. Okay, and I have told that for over modulation, EC is always greater than EM. That's why I have drawn it with slightly bigger one. Now, what has happened? You have this as the carrier, so this is FC. Now, what is the AM wave that you have got? AM wave is the original FC frequency is there with the same EC here. So it is having the original. So let me draw the final AM wave with slightly, yeah. So my final AM wave is going to be in FC. There is going to be a waveform, okay, frequency, and then I am going to have these two components. I'm just going to draw what are their frequency. One is FC plus FM, that means FC plus FM, it might be somewhere around here, FC plus FM, sorry, FC plus FM, and there will be some frequency behind that which is FC minus FM, FC minus FM. So that is now going to have two frequencies in these two. So what can you see? You can see that these two have been as such taken and they are shifted here. And that is what is happening in your radio. Let's say Radio Mangalam is having a frequency of 91.2 FM. So this is megahertz. Okay, carrier frequency is 91.2 megahertz. My original signal, so let me now draw that. My original signal is having some, again, if I'm going to write some frequency F, and if suppose this is the zero axis, okay. So my original signal basically extends from speed signal basically goes from 300 to some 3100 hertz. So these are the frequencies in between which I will have my signal. So there are lots of frequencies here, lots of frequencies. So generally we don't draw the frequencies as these lines. What we do is we basically represent it as a simple curve. So it will start here. So it will start here and it will have some. So this is my frequency signal. So there is a negative part also. So this is how the signal is going to look. This is the negative side. And what happens in the radio? In the radio it is 91.2 FM. So somewhere around here in 91.2 megahertz, you will be having a carrier frequency, and then besides it you will have the same voice signal there, and this much is going to be the bandwidth of the radio channel. Now you might be thinking that a radio is FM channel. Yes, it is FM. Previously it used to be AM. It used to be amplitude modulation, but there were certain difficulties or there was noise, too much of noise in AM. That's why they changed it to frequency modulation. I will teach you frequency modulation later. But anyway, nowadays if you are looking at TV broadcasting in DD channel, Doordarshan channel, the one which you get with the help of antenna, in that the picture is sent through AM method, and the voice with the video is sent through FM. So still AM is being used, but anyway, just for an example I have shown. So basically what has happened, you have taken this whole signal which was lying here, and you took that and you placed it in this particular channel. So if there is another radio channel, at some other frequency, let's say 89.3 frequency, megahertz frequency, then some other person's voice who is also here, that will be changed and it will be kept here. So now these two channels will be two separate channels and there will be no interference between them. If you tune into this 91.2 megahertz channel, you will hear that one. If you tune into this one, you will hear the other radio channel, and this is basically what happens in a FM. Now, as far as numericals are concerned here, one of the things that we should remember, which I will again draw it here, is that EC by EM Okay, EC by EM is the, sorry, EM by EC is the modulation index. The modulation index is EM by EC, which if you look into this particular curve, if you look into this particular curve, I told you that this height is EC plus EM, and this height, the lowest point, is EC minus EM. And based on that, if you would do slight calculation, you will be able to see that the modulation index can also be given by E max minus E min, because see, you can see this is the E max, this is the maximum value. So this is the E max and this is the minimum value E min. So if you would add both of them, you will get 2 times EC, and if you would subtract, you will get 2 times of EM. So you can do this calculation on your own and you will get E max minus EM divided by E max plus EM. That will also be the modulation index. These are the two equations for modulation index that we are having. So this formula you can write down, because this is one of the problems that is frequently asked. Now we have to also come look into what is the power. For that I have to again rewrite this signal. So let me rewrite this signal again. Now if we are trying to do the power calculation, why we want to do the power calculation? The power calculation is done because how much power is to be spent for AM communication, because even your mobile phone requires battery, so we should know what is the power that is being spent here. So if you would look, there are three components. So the first component, generally the power is given by whatever is the RMS voltage square divided by the resistance value. So here there is no circuit drawn, so there will be no resistance here, but anyway, V square RMS, Vrms square by R is the general equation for the power. And we know that Vrms is basically the maximum voltage divided by root 2 square by R, which is basically E by 2R, E square by 2R. Okay, E square by 2R. So based on that, if you look at this one, the maximum voltage here is EC. So the power in the carrier part, because this is the carrier part, correct? The carrier is having a power of, based on this equation, you will get EC square by 2R. And then for this one, the power in the upper side band, or USB, the power in the USB will be M square EC square, and this 2 is also there, so 2 square is 4, and then you have the remaining 2R. So into 2R means this will come out to be 8R. Clear? Okay, this one will come out to be 8R. So let's have a look. Similarly, in the LSB also, that is the lower sideband also, you will have M square, because both of these are same. So M square EC square by 8R. Now, if you would look into the total power, the power total, it will be EC square by 2R, okay, plus, that is for this one. And since both of them are same, I can write 2 times. So if I write 2 times of this, then this 8 and 2 will basically cancel off. So I will get M square EC square by 4R. That is the addition of both these together. USB and LSB power together is 2 times of this. So this is basically what is the total power, from which I can take EC square outside and 2 are also outside. So I will get 1 plus M square divided by 2 into EC square by 2R. Now, in the total power, what is the power that is carried by, what is the ratio of power carried by the carrier? That is PC divided by PT. So if I am going to do this, I will get the ratio of carrier power with respect to total power, I will get EC is EC square by 2R divided by the total power, which is 1 plus m square by 2 into EC square by 2R, where EC square by 2R and EC square by 2R from both sides will basically get cancelled off, and I will get the net equation as the carrier with respect to total, that I will get it as 1 divided by 1 plus m square by 2. This is the total power. Now I told you generally m is greater than 1, or sorry, m should be less than 1, that is under modulation, and m is equal to 1, that is critical modulation. Both these is okay, but you should not have m is greater than 1, then it is going to be bad. So this is the maximum that the value of m can come. Then what is the ratio, the maximum ratio that it can come? Pc by Pt is going to be 1 divided by 1 plus, here m I am going to take as 1 because that is the maximum value that can come. So this is the maximum. How much is this ratio maximum possible? So if I am going to put this one, I will get 1 by 2, which if you would do it, you will get it as 2 by 3. So this means that 2 by 3rd of the total power is going to lie in the carrier, and the remaining 1 by 3rd will only lie in the side bands. So this is something that you should always be ready to calculate the power ratio. Questions can be asked in this. We will see the problems one by one. And similarly, one more thing that I want to say is, if suppose where is it? Yeah, if suppose you are having a signal which is not having just one omega CT, there are several omega m signals. For example, I wrote cos omega m t. Suppose you are having two signals, omega m plus some other signal is there which is cos omega m 2t. So like that, if you are having multiple this thing, the net modulation index, and this you should always remember, the total modulation index will be under root of the modulation index because of the first wave plus the modulation index because of the second wave plus square of the modulation index of the third wave, like that. This is going to be the equation. This also you should remember, because this also is something that is always asked. So based on this, we will try to do some problems. Okay. Let's look at this scheme 2018 question, 13 question. If a pulse duration varies in according with modulating voltage, if you remember, I had already told you that for the case of pulse width modulation is when you are having a pulse like this, if you are trying to vary the width of the pulse, that is the pulse duration. This is also called as the duration. Whereas pulse position is different. Pulse position is, this is the starting point of the pulse and this is the ending point, and this is the total ending point of the whole pulse. After this, the next pulse will come. So this is one pulse. So when you change the position, the starting position of it, so instead of starting from here, if you start it little bit later, then it is called as pulse position, because you are changing the position. So this is duration of the pulse and this is the position of the pulse which you are changing. So here what they have asked is, if a pulse duration varies in accordance with the modulating voltage, then the modulation is called as pulse width modulation. Okay. Next question. A signal of peak voltage V 5 volt at 10 kilohertz is modulated. So this is getting modulated using a carrier wave of peak voltage this much. Okay, here actually there is a small mistake in the question. Here instead of modulated, they should have written modulating. Is modulating a carrier wave. Okay, but anyway, here they have very clearly written a signal is having this much and a carrier peak is this much. Anyway, we know that always the carrier frequency should be greater than the message frequency. So you know that this is the message and this is the carrier. And then they are asking what are the sideband frequency. We know that the sideband frequency is FC plus FM and FC minus FM. So if you are going to look at 2 megahertz as the carrier frequency, and this is kilo, so I will write everything in terms of kilo. So 2 megahertz we all know is can also be written as 2 into 10 raised to power 6 hertz, which can be written as 2000 into 10 raised to power 3 hertz, which is or which can be written as 2000 kilohertz. Okay, so I will write, instead of 2 megahertz I will use 2000 kilohertz, because here it is already written as 2000 kilohertz. So here it is written as kilohertz, so everything should be in kilohertz. So I have written megahertz. Here the answer is also in kilohertz. Okay, so FC plus FM will be 2000 plus 10. So this is 2010 kilohertz. This is the upper sideband, and the lower sideband will be 2000 minus 10, which will come as 1990 kilohertz. So that is going to be the answer. This is going to be the USB, which is the upper sideband, and this is going to be the lower sideband, LSB. So if you would look, this is there, correct. This one has only this one to be correct, whereas this is not correct. Here this is correct, but this is not correct, so this is also not correct. Neither this one nor this one. So the correct answer is A. Next, an amplitude modulation. In an amplitude modulation with modulation index of 0.5, the ratio of the amplitude of the carrier wave to that of the sideband in the modulated wave is. So we have to be very careful. Here they are asking the M is given here, the M is 0.5, and they are asking the ratio of the amplitude of the carrier wave. So they are asking for the ratio of the carrier wave EC divided by the amplitude of the sideband. So which is the sideband? So let us look at the sideband. If you remember, this is the sideband, these two are the sideband, this is the upper sideband and this is the lower sideband, correct? Now here this is the amplitude. This is the amplitude of the upper sideband and this is the amplitude of the lower sideband. Both of them are same. So I can write that it is MEC by 2. So I will use that same notation here, sorry. So the ratio between the amplitude of the carrier wave, which is EC, and that of the sideband, if you remember, which is MEC by 2. It is MEC by 2. MEC by 2. So if I am going to do that, then this ratio here, EC and EC will cancel, and basically I will get 2 by M. So M is 0.5, so I can write it as 2 by 0.5. If it is 2 by 0.5, if I try to make this as all 1, so I will multiply it with 2, multiply it with 2, I will get 4:1. So the answer is 4:1. So if the modulation index is 0.5, the ratio of the amplitude of the carrier wave to that of the sideband, so this is the sideband, is in the modulated wave is basically this one. Next question. To transmit a signal of frequency omega m, a carrier frequency omega c in AM transmission, the bandwidth of the filter and the amplifier is. So they want to transmit a AM signal. Okay, they want to transmit an AM signal which is having a carrier frequency of omega c and a message signal which is having a frequency of omega m. We know that the signal is comprised of three things. One is the carrier and the two sidebands. If you remember, we had written like this, where the signal is having the carrier component and the two sidebands. This is the upper sideband and this is the lower sideband. So if I want to transmit this total signal, I will require this much signal to be transmitted. So what is the higher value? Fc minus Fm, which is the lower frequency, Fc minus Fm. So what is the bandwidth? Bandwidth of AM. That is what they are basically asking there. What is the bandwidth of AM? Fc minus, Fc plus Fm minus the lower frequency, which is Fc minus Fm. Fc minus Fm, and which you can see that Fc and Fc will cancel off, and we will get the answer as 2 Fm or 2 times omega m. And that is the answer here. The bandwidth of the filter will be 2 times omega m. So the answer is going to be B. Next, again a similar kind of question. In the amplitude modulation mode of transmission, the normal speech signal, actually it should be speech. The normal speech signal is with a maximum frequency of 5 kilohertz. So that is the maximum, frequency of the message. So it is going to be 5 kilohertz. And the carrier frequency is 200 kilohertz. So for carrier is 200 kilohertz. The modulated signals will have the frequencies varying between. So what is the maximum and what is the minimum? That is what they are asking. And we know that in AM, because it is already written, it is AM. In AM, we know that the maximum frequency and the minimum frequency is basically given by Fc plus Fm and Fc minus Fm. So here you can see it is going to be 200 plus 5, which is 205 kilohertz is the maximum, and the minimum is 200 minus 5, which is 195 kilohertz, which will actually be this one. So B is going to be the answer. Next is this question. A signal of 5 kilohertz frequency modulates a carrier frequency of, so this is going to be your Fc, and this is going to be your Fm, and peak voltage of, this is your Ec. If the amplitudes at the side bands of the amplitude modulated signal is 5m, that means amplitude at the side bands. So what is the side bands? Side bands is basically your USB and LSB, and the amplitude of that, if you remember, I have already said that the amplitude is basically MEC by 2. So they have already given EC, and they have said that the sideband amplitude, so MEC by 2 is 5, that they have given. EC they have already given, it is 25, so I will write M into 25 divided by 2 is equal to 5. They are asking what is the modulation index, so you can see that I can directly write that M is going to be equal to 5 divided by 25 into 2, into 2. So this can cut off as 5. So what is 2 by 5? 2 by 5 is same as 4 by 10. If I multiply, which is equal to 0.4. So 2 by 5 is basically 0.4, and that is going to be your answer for this question. With that, we will end the amplitude modulation. Thank you.